What's up, YouTube? It's your boy back with another one, and I'm coming to you from the room, not vlogging anywhere else today. Although the other day I did say I was going to record another video about my experience at SmackDown, which I did record. Unfortunately, I liked nothing about the video. I kept rambling on about little things that didn't even matter. But I will tell you this. My experience at SmackDown was awesome. It was amazing. I had a great time, met a lot of amazing people. And then, of course, I took this bad boy right here, this belt, and a lot of the kids that were there took pictures of my belt. A lot of adults did too. Got a lot of compliments, and it was fun. I will be doing it again sometime soon when they come back to Dallas. I'm talking about WWE or even the other company, AEW. So I will be doing more of those little adventures of going to more events in the near future. But today I'm talking about my little adventure I took this morning. As many of you know, I'm a single father, or divorced from my wife, and from my ex-wife. And Wednesday night I had my kids. Yesterday I had my kids, and then today, Friday, I dropped them off with their mother. After I was done doing that, right, I had a few options, a couple of options. I either could have gone, dropped them off, come straight home, did nothing the rest of the day, probably clean up my room a little bit, get rid of some trash and all that I need to get rid of. Or take the time to go do stuff for me, which I've been trying to do a lot more of. I've been trying to do a little bit more things for me, not just work and vlogging and wrestling stuff, doing stuff also outside of everything that I'm doing. And this morning I was like, you know what? Just in case I go somewhere, I'm going to take my Bible with me. And I did. I took my Bible with me on my little adventure this morning. I went, dropped off the kids, and then when I was done, I was like, let's decide to where we want to go. Do we want to go home? Do we want to go to eat? Or do we want to just go somewhere and read? And I decided to do two of those things. I decided to go to Panera and post up at a table and read the Bible. And that's exactly what I did. In fact, I read Judges 11, 12, 13, and 14, and then John chapter 1, and then I read, Psalms 101 and 102, and then, of course, Proverbs 14, verses 13 through 16. So I read those, reading the history of all those that came after Joshua, who came after Moses, and then I started reading the story of Samson, which so far it's looking good. I mean, it's an interesting story. I've heard bits and pieces of the story. Obviously, when I'm reading the Bible, when you're reading the Bible, you're looking at more details of the stories that you've heard throughout all your years of being a Christian and all that. So it's interesting for me to finally read and dive deep into all this stuff, right? And then, of course, the word just got to me, and I prayed a little bit about it. But obviously, I could have came home and did that, right? But I decided to go and do something for me. I went out to eat breakfast, coffee, read, and then I came to another choice. What do I do after? Do I go home now? Do I go to Target? Do I go to Walmart? Do I go somewhere and just look around, walk around, look around? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Target. I'm going to look for this candy I've been wanting to buy again, because if you know me, I have a sweet tooth, not for chocolate, anything like that, but I love sour candy. One in particular, I follow a guy here on YouTube. His name is Max Tuning, and he is a candy maker. He has his company called Sour Strips, and I love the candy. And I was like, let me go to Walmart. Let me go buy some candy. Or not Walmart, but Target. Let's go to Target. Let's go buy the candy, find some other things that we need, and then come home and chill the rest of the day. As I was getting ready to leave the coffee shop, and I was in the thing, is like, why am I going to Target for hangers and candy? Like, no, let's go somewhere else. Like, I don't like Target that much. If I want candy, I will just order it and have it delivered to my house. I'm one of those guys that if I don't need to go to Walmart or big stores like that, I won't. I'm not a fan of it. Um, I don't. It's not because I don't like walking around and stuff. It's just because when you're there at Target, you get distracted with this, and that, and then you walk out spending hundreds of dollars. And you know, right now I'm in a in a point in my life where like I'm looking at more of saving my money versus spending my money. Right? You wouldn't tell because of these things behind me or this entire setup, but all this came slowly and gradually. They didn't come all at one time. Then of course, right? Well, can't get it right, but pointing here, books, and then cameras and action figures, belts, and then over here, electronics, and then in front of me, electronics. All of it came slowly, but I don't like to go out and spend a lot of money. So I was like, you know what? Where do I need to go? What do I need, and where can I go and not spend a whole bunch of money and still, take my time looking around? And so I thought about it, and I was like, I've been wanting to buy Bible tabs for my Bible because my Bible doesn't have tabs and it doesn't have like the imprints like my other Bible over here somewhere. It's over here. Like I don't have like the thumb indents and all that, but I was like, I need tabs for my Bible. Like I'm already at a point where I can find what I need pretty fast, but there's times where I'm like, man, I need help because my Bible only has like one of the little strings that goes in the middle of it that helps me, get through the Bible. And I use that for the New Testament mostly because in the Old Testament I'm reading like 3, 4 different books at one time in my Bible studies, versus in the New Testament I'm just reading one book. So I decided to buy the tabs or go and find the tabs, and I was like, where can I find them? Luckily, there's a Mardel's in the area I was at, so I decided to go to Mardel's. I decided to go in there instead of Target. I went to Mardel's. I didn't record none of it. I should have. I was like, man, that would have been a good video. Walking around Mardel's and just looking around, right? But if you've never been to Mardel's, it's pretty much like a Christian store that has everything you need: books, Bibles, shirts, supplies, like everything you need if you like teaching or just want to go and find something for you to read, write in, anything, right? It's like a hobby store, but for Christians. And so when I was there, I decided to, go straight to my tabs, which I did, but then I was like, let me look around. Let me look at the books because I always need some good books. Like, I have these books right here. A lot of them are like, you know, mind books, like for your mind, mental health and all that, learning how to grind and hustle and all that. And then, of course, my Christian books. But, eventually I'm going to be done with all these books. And like, I'm going to need more books for when I'm done and I can read, because right now I'm reading the book called A Case for Christ. It's about the atheist that, searches for if Christ is real and all that. And then he eventually becomes a Christian while doing his research for Christ. And I'm almost done with it. So I was like, I'm going to need another book for when I'm done. And I got a few more books I could read, but these are like money making books. I can read those anytime I want. When I'm talking about, it's like I need more books on Christian life, right? I need more books to help me on my walk with Christ. And I was like, well, you have the Bible. I was like, yeah, but the Bible, I'm taking my time on that. It's like I'm slowly reading the Bible because if you read straight through it, and you may not gain nothing from it. If you take your time and study it and dwell on the Word and, meditate on it, then you're going to take a more understanding from it, right? But anyways, I went to Mardel's and I did look around and I found a couple of books that actually caught my eye. And here they are. So, one of the books I bought, this is not sponsored in any way, not sponsored by nobody. These are just books I bought because they caught my eye. The first one is Who Are You Following? It's by Sadie Robertson. Sadie Robertson Huff. She is, if you know her, she's big on social media. She's part of the Robertson family, who is really big on the Duck Dynasty show. Obviously, we know them if you've watched A&E before. They were really big from the Duck Commander, the Duck Calls, and all that. But this book is pretty much like, I'm assuming like how she became, a big on social media, and it's like more of a Christian way of doing it, which is ironic. I need to learn how to do that. Be more outgoing when it comes to my Christian life and all that, right? And I think she's one of the few people on some social media that doesn't hide her belief in God and preaches the Word of God. And if you never heard her preach or talk about God, then you need to. She even has a podcast I listen to every now and then. But this book caught my eye. I think it just came out last year or something like that. So she's been talking about it on her podcast, and I've been needing another book to read. And, even though it's more of I guess, pertain to younger people, young women and all that, I was like, you know what? I like her. I follow her. Why not? Let me buy the book. And then I also bought Do the New You by Stephen Furtick. We all know who that is. He's a pastor. He's big on social media as well. He's big on Facebook, YouTube, all that. He is a really good pastor. I like watching his lives every now and then. He's been talking about this book for a little while. He just came out with it, I believe. And again, I just needed more books of Christian life, because I can read all this money stuff, all this mind stuff, but when it comes to Christian books, I need more of those. And this is one of the ones I was going to order on Amazon, but I decided just to buy it while I was at Mardell's. Same price too, so I was like, screw it, let me do it, let me buy it. And then this one people are going to be like 50 with. It is called Uncancelled by Phil Robertson. That is Sadie Robertson's grandfather, of course. And this man, obviously being an older-minded Christian, is very outspoken and very unfiltered when it comes to the Christian lifestyle and his beliefs and everything. I've obviously seen this all, in random places. I've seen it on his podcast. He talked about it. The reason why I bought this one was not only because it's him, and he has an interesting word or perspective of the word of God and all that, but it was also a bargain. It was only $5. The last two books were full priced. This one was $5, and I was like, that's a steal. Can't really pass that up. These are all going to be, from what I feel, useful to me because, obviously it's always good to get advice from an old mind. And then the two younger people, one's a pastor, one's really big on social media, who's really into the Word of God. So I think I've made some good picks there. Then, of course, I found my Bible tabs, the main reason why I went. And then this happened when I was going to the cash register, right? I went through every single aisle to look at these books and all that. And I picked those three with my tabs, and then eventually I made my way up to the cash register. And this was just pure accident. I told you I was going to go to Target to go and buy some candy. And lo and behold, when I was getting ready to pay, I looked to my left. And I'm the only guy in line, so don't think that I went in line, put my stuff up, and then walked out. I was the only guy in line, and I was at the register. And look what was right there. Sour strips. They had all kinds of flavors, and I was shocked. I was shocked that they had all these flavors, and I was like, wow, this is just a coincidence or something. Like, God was really looking out for your boy. He knew I wanted the candy. He knew I was looking for candy, and he blessed me. He blessed me with the candy. So I didn't have to go to like 3, 4 different stores. I went to one, not knowing I was going to walk out with 3 books. I knew I was walking out the tabs. But he was like, you know what? Because you made a good decision in going to a store that you needed to be at, not that you wanted to be there, I'm going to give you your candy. I think so. I mean, that's kind of funny, but I was like, wow, that's crazy. Instead of going to Mardell's, then ordering online my candy, I went to Mardell's, found my books, found some tabs, and then I found the candy. And I was like, wow. And right before all that, I had sent out my verse of the day on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. I did my little Bible verse of the day, which was Psalms 143 verses 8. And, you know, I got lucky. I got blessed. So, that was my little adventure this morning. And right now, I'm going to read a little bit more of the Bible. And then after that, I'm going to play some Xbox, And then, of course, later on tonight, I'll most likely start reading one of these books, which will probably be the Sadie Robertson book. And then I'll do the New You, and then I'll do Uncanceled. But that's all I got for today, my little adventures are starting to get more sporadic. And I guess my message in this video today is going to be just, if you feel like you need to go on a little adventure, no matter what it is, like coffee in a random store, then do it. If it's taking a random vacation, then go for it. Like, if you feel like you just need a moment to yourself and just, kind of somewhere find a way to be in the presence of God, then go for it. Like, that's what I did this morning. That's what I did today. And I'm going to continue to do that throughout my day. And I'll tell you, if you do that, God will find a way to bless you out of nowhere. Like today, I was obedient. I read the Word of God. And then I went out. I didn't have to buy these books. I chose to buy them, right? Because I think they'll be helpful to me. And then, of course, the tabs I needed. But because I was obedient and I followed what I thought I should do, in a weird way, I got my candy. And then, of course, I was blessed with the Word today, which is the most important part, right? The candy's just like me joking around, but that did happen, though. I did find the candy. But the Word, I'm taking into my heart, sharing it, spreading it in some little way, shape, or form. But like I said, just if you feel like you need to go on a little adventure, go for it. Do it. Do you. But that's all I got today. I will see you on the next one. So until next time, God bless. Stay safe. Peace.